All right. Hey, Vikings fans. Welcome in to another episode of the Skol Hop. I'm Evan.
I'm Austin.
We're just a couple of dudes from Iowa. We like drinking beer, talking about the Vikings.
Yeah, we do. And today we had a really good episode. We talked about some of the crazy things we think we might do to guarantee a Vikings Super Bowl victory.
And there's some pretty crazy stuff, but we also talked about season 2 of the Netflix quarterback series featuring a former Vikings quarterback.
Yeah, that'll be pretty exciting, coming out soon. Another thing we chatted about was some of the off-season departures from the Vikings that may hurt the 2025 team. We'll see. I don't know.
All the while, sipping on this bromance from Field Day Brewing, a new brewery to the Skol Hop, but super good beer.
Very delicious beer. Grab a cold one. Join us for episode 94 of the Skol Hop. Skol.
All right, we're going to give just a quick shout out to today's sponsor, Big Top Ventures. If you're looking to take an all-inclusive trip to either Mexico or Jamaica, we're going to put their email right down here. It's bigtopventuresllc@gmail.com. Send them an email. Let them know what you're looking to do, when you're looking to go on your trip, where you want to go, and they will hook you up with the best rate possible. So make sure you send them an email. Get on that sooner rather than later. Christmas break or spring break for next year. Get ahead of the game. Get that trip scheduled. And thanks, Big Top, for sponsoring the episode.
Evan, you're officially on the clock now because we have a very good friend for both of you and I who just in the last couple of days has been asking me like, hey, you know somebody, right? You know somebody for all-inclusives? I was like, I got you. And I think our buddy Chaz might be booking a trip sometime soon. So you need to book a trip before he does.
Well, you should know this, and if you don't, then you need to talk to your wife more.
Oh, no.
But your wife and I are employed by the same. We're employed by the same organization.
Yeah.
And our organization is offering us a nice little bonus this year.
Yeah.
So I do maybe have some plans to put some of that towards.
Well, you know where
something
to go, Ev, because within a month I will have gone to Cancun and come back.
I feel like you're always like within a month of going on one of those trips. I'm pouring a beer because I really want to try this beer.
All right. What beer do we have today, Ev?
This is Field Day Brewing. We haven't had Field Day yet. We were gonna have one.
Yeah.
I had some in the fridge here in the Skol Cave, and
oh no,
crap!
That's all right. We got some paper towels just for that occasion. Evan spilled a little bit.
Usually, you're the one that spills.
You know, it's just that I'm really good at pouring. But anyways, as you were saying,
we pulled them out of the fridge and they were warm. So I think there might be a problem with the fridge.
Hopefully not, because the fridge did turn back on.
It did. We had to make a quick beer run, though, because the beer was warm. We weren't about to drink warm beer. Mm-hmm. So we got some cold beer. The beer we had was also from Field Day, but it was not this beer. So we're going to hopefully let that other beer cool off, get to a good drinking temperature. But this one, long story short, is the Bromance West Coast IPA. And because we went to the store together, you picked this one off the shelf.
Yeah, and we did stock up a little bit on a couple more after that. But I will admit, I am a sucker for a good beer name and a good label. This was a West Coast IPA, so obviously dead smack in the middle of my wheelhouse. But Bromance, I think I read the Bromance out, and you were like instantly like, yeah, I think that's the one. That's for us.
That's what we need.
So I'm really excited to try this. I might have had too hard of a pour because now it's going to be a while before I can drink this. But and
it's going to hit your mouse and stuff over there.
Oh,
yeah, it's dribbling down the side.
All right.
I can smell this already, though. Like, I haven't even tasted a drop, and I can just, the aroma coming off of it is real strong in a good way. Like, it smells great. It smells like an IPA, very citrusy, very hoppy. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to try it.
Yeah, so it's a light color. You can see through it. A little hazy. Obviously, good head retention because half of my glass is just head right now. So let's go for it. Skol.
Skol. Yeah. It's really light and refreshing, but it does have, it's 6.9%, so it definitely has a little bit of that kick to it, especially on the end. I can kind of feel the booziness.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can kind of taste the booziness. I feel like in a good way. It has a boozier taste than it is. 6.9 is no slouch. But like if I was just to blind taste this, like our mystery beers we used to do, I'd probably guess like 7.5 for this.
Yeah, it's up there.
It's delicious. I like this a lot, and will gladly have this many, many, many more times. It tastes hazier than it looks, if that makes any sense at all.
Yep.
But yeah, good aroma, nice citrusy taste, a little bit of booziness. Yeah, they definitely hit the nail on the head with this one. Thank you, Field Day, for making a great beer.
Yeah, Field Day out of North Liberty, Iowa, which is real close to Iowa City, just north of Iowa City, kind of between Iowa City and Cedar Rapids, really.
So we're probably, 40-ish minutes from that brewery, right here?
Probably a little bit more than that.
Okay.
Probably an hour.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we need to get there.
Yes, I would agree.
And it might be one that we have to, I don't know if it's on our list for the next brew hop, but if it's not, we might need to figure that out.
Redraw the map to get over there. It's really good, and I'm excited to try the other Field Day that we have that's hopefully cooling off in the fridge at this point. So, yeah, good beer, Field Day.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, it's late June, and we're a podcast that covers an NFL football team and one that didn't recently sign Aaron Rodgers. So there's not a whole lot of heavy-hitting news stories to talk about.
You want to know how I know that we're in the lull of the NFL offseason?
How's that?
We didn't plan on talking about this, but this happened to me the other day, so I'm going to bring it up now because we can. It's our podcast.
Yeah. Wait, this is ours? It's our... Wow.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Nice, okay.
Do whatever we want.
Sweet.
We could, wax our legs on air if we
would
wanted
never
to.
do that. No.
Or maybe sit in a child's chair and be uncomfortable.
I would break a child's chair. Anyways, what were you saying?
So a former graduate of our humble alma mater, Bettendorf High School, recently got drafted into the NFL.
Yeah.
And I'm at our high school pretty much every morning during the summer, doing summer workouts with some of our athletes. And I've never met this guy before, but he came down the hill and I immediately knew who he was.
Was he decked out in Vegas Raiders stuff?
He had a ton of...
No way.
He had one Iowa State thing and everything else was Raiders.
Nice.
If you don't know who we're talking about, Darian Porter.
Yeah. Third round pick, right?
Yeah, Bettendorf High School graduate, which is where we're both graduates from. I get the privilege to coach there. And I've never met him. A lot of the coaches that I work with actually worked with him when he was a student at Bettendorf, which was pretty fun. So I've heard a lot of these stories about him. But yeah, he's been there the last couple of days, actually. Yesterday and today he was there, just getting workouts in on the field, getting out there early before it got super duper hot. And like we even let him like in the weight room and stuff just to kind of do whatever. And when I met him, I introduced myself to him, and he was like, yeah, we're just kind of on our break right now, but we'll be back at it in July. And
nice.
So
did you invite him on the pod?
I didn't extend that invitation yet. I figured that might be a little forward.
It would be, but yeah, you never know.
But now I've made the connection.
Yeah.
So I've shaken his hand.
Maybe just like the next handful of days, just wear your Skol Hop shirt. You should be like, oh, this thing? Oh, yeah, I actually just do a little podcast.
What's funny is like a bunch of my students have asked me like, Mr. Duth, do you have a podcast? I'm like, I've heard a rumor that there's one out there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You never know. We do post it to the internet. Not the dark web.
I'll attribute our skyrocketing viewership to my students
welcome
finding us.
Students, I guess. Don't do as we say, not as we do. Anyway,
your teachers drink beer when they're not at school.
Yeah, and responsibly, above the age of 21. So
they should be doing it responsibly. We do it responsibly.
Yeah, absolutely. Well. We do have kind of something we can talk about that is a list of irresponsible things to do.
Yes. This would not be something we would advise doing.
So George Kittle, I think like today or yesterday, sometime recently.
Yeah.
What show was he on?
He was on Bussin with the Boys podcast.
So 49ers tight end, Iowa alum, George Kittle was on Bussin' with the Boys, and I have not listened to his appearance there.
Isn't one of the Bussin' with the Boys guys an Iowa guy?
Maybe. I've never really listened to it.
I'm going to look that up while you
Fact
keep
check.
talking.
We miss our fact check guy. What was his name? Dustin? No, it wasn't Dustin. I don't know. It's not important. Anyways, George Kittle was on that show, and amongst the things they talked about, he lists off a few things that he would do to guarantee a Super Bowl win for him. Now, it means a little bit different to him because he's a player, and like he would actually get a ring and earn that honor. Whereas, like if the Vikings won a Super Bowl, we would just be fans, and it would be really cool to watch. But still, pretty cool. I thought it'd be cool to kind of list off some of those things and then maybe challenge each other with some things we would do for a Vikings Super Bowl win.
I like that idea. I'm looking up. So Will Compton grew up in Nebraska, I'm pretty sure, and went to Nebraska for college before playing in the NFL. And then Taylor Lewin is the other guy.
He was a Titan for a long time. Really good left tackle, I think.
I don't know where he went to high school.
I don't think he's an Iowa guy.
Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought one of the boys was from Iowa or went to Iowa, was a Hawkeye.
Interesting.
But I guess I'm wrong on that front. So,
oh, well.
Sorry for the wasted time.
Well, so some of the things George Kittle said he would do. As a player, he said like he would go on IR on week 16 and basically miss the end of the season and the Super Bowl and like not get to play in it. But if it guarantees a Super Bowl, he would do it. He said he would bite off someone's ear.
Like Mike Tyson style.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, who was it that did that? He said he would cut off his own pinky, which I think, isn't there a Ronnie Lott? Didn't he like break his pinky in the Super Bowl and it was like the tip of it? And they were like, yeah, you're out. He's like, no, just cut it off. I might be getting that story wrong, but I think there's something there. And then one of the things he said, he would go to prison for a year. And then he had a caveat of not San Quentin. And there's a whole story he told about like a visit there and the prisoner said something crazy to him. But go listen to that after you listen to us. I might check it out here sometime. But Evan, all that to say, are there some crazy things you would do just to guarantee a Vikings Super Bowl?
I would consider doing the third one on this list. I might cut off my pinky finger.
Pinky?
Yeah, I might.
Interesting.
Maybe. Or maybe even the fourth one, go to prison for a year. Like,
would you go to prison for a year?
I don't know. You're the one wearing orange, not me.
Is it orange?
It's like orangish like red.
Well, if you want to see the color of my shirt, I guess, go ahead and check out YouTube. I see what you did there.
Anyways, sorry. If I were to add something to this list, though, I don't know. That's a tough one.
How long would you go to prison for? And not like it's on your record and you're actually like a felon or whatever, but how much of your time would you give up?
I just watched recently. This is probably I don't pay attention to a lot of like social media or YouTube trends or anything, but there was a Mr. Beast video that I saw recently. There was this guy, Mr. Beast, drew a circle out in the middle of a field, dropped a house in the middle of the circle, and told the guy he had to stay there for 60 days alone. He had a family, wife and kids, but if he made it the full 60 days, he got, I don't know, $1 million or something like that.
Mr. Beast has done quite a few of those things.
He's done quite a bit. But
most recently, like lose 100 pounds and you can't leave until you lose 100 pounds. That was just recently.
This particular one, though, like I watched quite a bit of it. I didn't finish it, so I don't really know how it ends. That's just kind of
bring it up
on a But anyways, like he struggled. Like he was like getting emotional when he like pulled these notes out from his little daughters, and like I was pulling on my heartstrings because I have little girls. So like I don't know that I could be gone from my family for that long.
Well, how long? How long would you be gone for?
I would say 2 months. It would be a struggle, but 2 months.
Okay. I was going to say like
2 months.
2 weeks. Anything more than that, I don't know. Like that is, if I could guarantee a Vikings Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean, for me, like, probably anything more than 2 weeks would be like, this is crazy.
You must not care as much as I do.
That's the thing. I probably care more than you do about a Vikings Super Bowl. But
no, it's good that you care about your family, though.
All right, so you said you'd probably cut off a pinky.
I would, yeah.
Would you skydive?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I've done for fun, but like, would you skydive like 4 times in a row? Like, how many times in a row would you skydive?
Once. I only ever want to do it once. I think that's enough for anybody in their lifetime, unless you're like an instructor or a partner or whatever.
I asked that because, and I think I told this story on like episode 3 of the Skol Hop.
It was, it was a while ago.
When I went and dove from the sky, jumped out of a plane.
Perfectly good one, by the way.
Yeah, my instructor, like, that's all he does. Like, he jumps out of a plane many times in a day. But right before he jumped with me, like, he rigged me up and then also rigged another dude up at the same time. Went up in the plane with that dude, was up there however long, 20 minutes, jumped out, got to the ground, unhooked himself, had his other pack ready, and within like one circle, a minute, was with me, hooked to me in the plane again. So he was on the ground for all of like 2 minutes before after jumping and then going right back into the sky and then jumping again. Like,
nothing scares that guy.
No,
like,
that
nothing phases him.
I hope that dude's okay. He seemed like a good dude, but yeah, if that doesn't get your heart going.
I could tolerate skydiving once. I've done some like not like crazy intense things like that, but I like roller coasters, and I did a like big time polar plunge up in Minneapolis New Year's Day, frozen lake, like jumped in.
Nice. Okay.
Nothing but a swimsuit. I've done a few. I'm a kind of an adrenaline junkie. I like kind of stuff like that, but I don't think I could do that more than once, especially knowing that like the success rate's pretty good, but it's not perfect. It's not 100%.
I mean, if you do it right, it's pretty safe. Although, having said that, I've skydived once. I don't think I'll ever do it again. I think I'm good. I think I've hit my quota for skydiving.
What about like we were talking before we started recording, like either like our purple punishments or like dude perfect, wheel unfortunate. Like, are there any of those things that you would do?
Oh yeah, there's quite a bit I would do. Like I just said I probably wouldn't skydive again. If I could guarantee a Vikings win, I'd skydive. Or a Vikings Super Bowl win, I'd skydive again. Probably like twice in a row.
Would you sleep in a bed of sand for a week?
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Really?
Absolutely.
A bed of sand.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember that one?
Yeah, I do. He like laid, one of the twins, right? Laid down and they like bucketed a
that looked so awful.
Yeah, but for a Vikings Super Bowl win,
how long would you go in a bed?
How
of
many
sand?
nights?
Yeah.
Oh man. Probably like a month. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not that bad. I'm a hard sleeper though. Like, my wife will tell you. Apparently I snore, and it's like I'm bragging about how great of sleep I'm getting with how loud I snore. So, yeah, I'd sleep in a bed of sand. Would you get a tattoo?
Depending on where.
Would you get a neck tattoo if it guaranteed a Vikings win?
Right here?
Well, it could be like a little bit, yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah. I don't think I'd get a neck tattoo.
My uncle has a nice tattoo like right on the inside of his ankle, the Vikings. Like if it was something a little more like that, and he's a pretty successful professional, like I'd do that. That'd be easy. Yeah. I don't have any tattoos right now.
Yeah, neither do I. I'll probably get one at some point, but I haven't yet. So, but if it was like, hey, you get a Norseman logo on your neck and it guarantees a Vikings victory, that'd be tough. That'd be tough.
Feel like anywhere right here with a needle, that would hurt.
Yeah, it would hurt, but like eventually, like you're not gonna. It's gonna hurt for a little bit, maybe a couple days after it's healed. Like,
but then you have to live with it.
Yeah, it's more about living with a tattoo on your neck.
But I can think of like 10 other better places that I'd rather get a tattoo than right here.
Oh, 1,000%.
For the lack of pain that it would cause.
Yeah.
Like, I'd get one on my right butt cheek before I got it right here because it wouldn't be as painful.
No, yeah. I'm just trying to think, like, crazy things. Would you walk barefoot for a year?
Oh, yeah. That'd be easy.
To guarantee a Vikings Super... A year. We live in Iowa, dude. It gets cold.
Yeah, I'd be okay.
Barefoot. All right.
I spend most of my time inside.
Inside,
the winter.
yeah. But, like, I think you and I are both ones that inside will throw some, like, flip-flops on because it hurts our feet to be barefoot. You said that before. I've agreed with you.
I only do it when I'm sitting here because the bars
of the chairs.
on the...
Yeah, we do have some bar chairs
bar
here.
stool, like the legs have these bars that go around at your feet, and if my bare feet are on them, that it hurts. So yeah, I am wearing sandals right now, but I usually go barefoot in the house, and I could go barefoot for a long time, probably.
That'd be tough for me.
I would do that.
But if it guaranteed a Vikings Super Bowl, I think
I could do that.
I'd do it. There's probably some crazy things people would do to
you
guarantee.
think about like you think about our ancestors who didn't
That's
have
true,
shoes. Like we were created, we were designed to go without shoes. So
Get some hobbit feet real quick after that. Yeah.
I have some of my runners, my athletes run barefoot sometimes, and I tell them like your scientifically designed running shoe that you run in is supporting your feet in all these different ways, but you take that off and run barefoot on some nice even level ground, it'll build some strength in your feet in some different ways. So
Interesting. All right, any last things you might do? Anything you want to challenge me to hypothetically do to guarantee a Vikings win?
Would
in the Super
you
Bowl?
shave your beard
on Heartbeat, yeah.
and keep it shaved for all eternity until you die
to guarantee a Vikings Super Bowl?
Yeah.
That would just be more annoying to like remember to shave every day. And
But you have to do it because if any facial hair grows back, they accuse the Vikings of cheating and take the Super Bowl back
like
and give
Reggie
it to
Bush
the Packers or
scenario.
something.
Man, yeah, I would do that. I would maintain my facial hair like an adult to guarantee a Vikings Super Bowl.
I appreciate that.
Miranda would hate it. You probably noticed, like I just yesterday trimmed off
Yeah, looks good.
most of my beard.
It's a little shorter than I'm used to.
It's a lot short. Like I had to like straighten it. It was so long, but like scraggly and gross. I came out of the bathroom. I didn't tell my wife I was going to do that. I came downstairs and she looked at me like, "What did you do?" And she was like, I think she fell like 1 point out of love with me a little bit because I shaved my beard. And It's not even a great beard. It's kind of a scraggly, gross looking beard, but she hates my face that much.
Better than mine. It's better than mine.
That's all right. You could grow one.
All right. Well, do you have anything for me? Since you threw the question at me.
All right. Same thing. Would you go a year without cutting your hair?
Yeah, I think I could do that. I don't like cutting my hair.
Trimming, anything. Just
I can't even shave my face.
You could shave your face.
Okay. I like shaving my face because I can't grow a beard.
You
I
could
probably
do something.
if I let it go, but like I've let it go for like a week and then I'm just itchy all the time. And I know that that's just a phase and you got to get through it, but I can't get through that phase. Like I just can't for some reason. My hair, on the other hand, like when we were kids, I actually had really long hair, not like long, like down to my shoulders long, but like I had a mop top for a while and my mom hated it when I was a kid. She thought I looked ridiculous, and I always wanted like super curly like fro type look, probably because like Randy Moss, that whole era. But I'm obviously not Randy Moss. We had a friend though. We had a friend who lived down the street from me, Bobby Porter. You'll remember him. He had really curly hair, and like when I met him, I'm like, that's what I want. That's what I want. And unfortunately, I just didn't get the curly hair gene, and my hair just grows straight out and down.
We need like a Photoshop picture of you with like cornrows.
No, I want the big fro. I want
like the unspeakable, or that's a disgusting act. Like because in that game, Randy Moss, he took his helmet off and he had like the big fro.
Well, and I think it was like a week later they find him and he's in the parking lot, and somebody asked him like, "How are you going to pay that fine, Randy?"
Oh, that was a different situation, but he did say
straight cash, homie. Yeah. But I think he had a fro in that situation too. That's what I was aiming for.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But anyways, no, I would do that. I hate cutting my hair. In fact, I cut my hair today, and it's just such a hassle. Like I'm kind of a minimalist when it comes to like grooming my hair. Like I don't go to a barber. I don't go anywhere. I don't even go to like cost cutters or anything. I just either me or my wife does it with a pretty simple razor in the bathroom, and we just go over it with the same guard, and
that's how I do it. Occasionally for Christmas, this is a tangent if we've ever had one, I got one of those like head shaver things that like conforms to the head. You've
told me about that.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
And if I were ever to go like, so this is like as low as it will ever get probably for me, because I just cut it this morning. But if I were to go lower, I would get something like that and just
There you go.
Probably do it once a day. Make a whole mess in the bathroom every day, but yeah, I would grow out my hair
for a whole year.
Yep.
All right. Well, get to getting. You cut it today.
All right.
Day one. June 24th, 2026.
All right.
There
if they win the Super Bowl
now
in January.
And now if you cut your hair, you've jinxed it. I'm putting that on your shoulders there, Ev.
All right.
So you better not cut it. Who is it? Is it Will Reichard that like gets a haircut right at the beginning of the season and then just lets it go until he misses a kick or something?
I think because his rookie year was this last year, and I think he said it this year. Mm-hmm. But then he got hurt.
Oh,
because he like pulled his quad or something, and I think he excused himself from that and cut his hair.
Well, we'll have to do some research, see if he does that again. All right.
Moving on.
What else we got?
Quarterback season 2 coming out on Netflix.
Yeah.
You were the one that told me about it, so I don't even know when it's coming out, but it's coming out soon, apparently.
Yeah, I think so. I just saw something on Twitter today, maybe yesterday. But yeah, so first season of Quarterback was a couple years ago, and since then, Netflix has done... Have they only done Receiver?
They did Receiver, yep. Last summer.
That was like the next season of that whole like follow a specific position in the NFL. But now they're going back to Quarterback, and I think it comes out. I'm trying to look up really quick when season 2 comes out. I think it's soon, like in the next few weeks.
July 8th.
Yeah, we're just a few weeks away.
Yeah.
2 weeks from today.
2 weeks.
So what's interesting is they're following different quarterbacks than they did last time.
Except for one.
So last time it was Pat Mahomes and the Atlanta guy, Mariota.
Marcus Mariota.
And then Kirk Cousins.
Yep.
And now it is Goff.
Jared Goff.
Why did I want to say Joe Goff? Jared Goff and Joe Burrow. That's why. And yet again, another Atlanta quarterback, Kirk Cousins. So this will be kind of interesting. I saw this and I tweeted out from the Skol Hop, and I was like, Kirk Cousins is either going to come across as like a money-seeking villain, or this whole thing is going to like redeem him again like it did. Not that it redeemed him, but I think it really showed his true colors last time, that he's actually a good dude. And people left season 1 of Quarterback kind of really overall loving Kirk Cousins. So yeah, this year it's either going to be he's showing his true colors as a greedy dude, or his true colors is like, this guy's actually, he's still a good dude. So I'm excited to watch. I
will definitely tune in, and my wife likes this too, so this will be good, like put the kids to bed and tune in after they go to bed. We were talking before we started recording, when they got Kirk Cousins in the first season of Quarterback two seasons ago, they kind of caught him at the pinnacle of his Vikings career. Like this was before he got hurt. Right?
Was it the season he got hurt?
Was it the season he got hurt?
Yeah, I think so.
I can't remember. But anyways, he was still like, he was definitely like at his peak.
It was a season before he got hurt. And then, because we all entered into the next season.
Yeah, that's right.
Because he was just a Falcon last year.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
So, but like, you think about it, like he was at the peak of his career, as a Viking, so to speak. I don't know if we would say peak of his career, period, but peak of his Vikings career. And it definitely, like, I think solidified the fact that we as Vikings fans like this guy as our quarterback, and we'd be okay riding it out with him. And I think we even I know I for sure said things like that on this podcast when we first started, like, oh yeah, we watched that, and that just solidified for me that I wanted him to be our quarterback for the long term. And then I was kind of upset when they moved on from him.
Yeah, so, you were more upset about it than I was. Not like crazy more. We didn't argue about it on the pod, but I do remember because it followed the 2022 Vikings season, and that was the one where the Vikings just kept flukely winning games, and then they lost to Daniel Jones and the Giants in the first round of the playoffs, and it was just such a bad taste in all of our mouths. And then Quarterback kind of I don't know, took that taste out of our mouths and kind of enlightened us on, man, this team is good. Man, KOC is a good coach. And
that was
Kirk, I'm really
KOC's
excited
first year. And
I think it was his first year.
Because the second year, Kirk went down.
Yep.
JJ went down at one point too, and then this last season with Sam Darnold was his third season.
Yeah. So either way, I'm excited for this new season here in a couple of weeks of quarterback. I never did finish wide receiver or receiver. Whatever they called it.
It was good. I finished it.
I think there's like 1 or 2 episodes I didn't watch because after a while it just became not about Justin Jefferson.
It was just Amon-Ra St. Brown and George Kittle is what it became, but it was still good. I have more respect for George Kittle than I do St. Brown at this point.
Yeah. I've always liked Kittle, but I remember that show did kind of show a more well-rounded view of him, not just the party boy, frat boy.
Yeah, he's definitely like a family guy. He loves his family and prioritizes them, which is cool to see. And I think he's a team guy. He's a team player, which is also cool to see. Like, he's not just this, all consumed. It's all about me. Get me the ball.
Yeah.
Prima donna type of thing.
Yeah.
So, and not to say that that's Amon-Ra St. Brown, but there's a little bit more of that.
St. Brown is just
diva type of thing.
I genuinely think St. Brown is overall probably good dude. Probably just fine. It's not like he's out punching babies, he just seems
probably not.
He just seems more like, he kind of reminds me of Diggs a little bit. Just like,
yeah,
like, I am a really good receiver and I am awesome.
That's an interesting little side note. Like, you saw the headlines of Diggs within the last month with the party on the boat and stuff.
I'm not saying St. Brown's doing that stuff, and I don't even know what Diggs did because there hasn't been officially anything come out about that. And he's
apparently been kind of excused. Like, he's just been like, yeah, come back to practice. You're good, whatever.
Yeah.
So
interesting. But yeah, to get back to the point, I think Kittle came out of that looking better than St. Brown, much like Cousins came out of quarterback looking way better than Mahomes did. And Mahomes definitely came off as like a entourage leader, frat boy kind of guy, which...
Entourage.
Dang it. Now we're going to get lost in the office here.
I can't not hear that show and not think of that.
I forgot about that.
Entourage.
I'm just gonna wait for you to take a drink and say entourage.
I'm gonna do it when you're taking.
I almost got you. I think you'll laugh at it more than I will, though.
No, I think you will.
We'll see. Well, some things we can't really laugh about. Dustin Baker on VikingsTerritory.com. He put out an article today, June 24th, titled, which everyone should go read because it is a good read. It's titled "Departures That Could Haunt the 2025 Vikings." And basically he listed out, was it four people who left the Vikings organization in this 25 offseason that could be, their loss could be felt in this coming season. A few of them, or I'll just list them all here. Shaq Griffin, the cornerback. He does say, he played pretty good, and this one probably doesn't hurt as much because he's still currently, as of right now, a free agent, and if the Vikings really wanted to, theoretically they could go sign him up.
Yep.
But he played pretty well, and not Pro Bowl best number one corner in the league, but enough to make a difference. I think he had at least one game clinching interception at one point. Good player. I liked him. Another guy, which I'm going to skip over this next one. Another guy, Cam Bynum, who maybe was as pivotal in the celebration game as he was on actual defense.
True.
He's a safety. He signed with the Colts for probably a little bit more than the Vikings would have been willing to pay him. I'm guessing. We, of course, don't know, negotiations that they had with any player. But that one's kind of not as hurtful because Theo Jackson is apparently pretty good and well-liked in the locker room and on the field. So we'll see what Brian Flores does with Theo Jackson. Maybe we won't feel that Bynum departure as much. Grant Udinsky, coach. I think he was he? I don't even think he was quarterback coach. He was like an assistant to the quarterback coach or something. I don't know what his official title was with the Vikings, because Josh McCown is the quarterback's coach. But Grant Udinski, he left to become, I think, the offensive coordinator for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And in the article, Dustin does kind of say, like, Udinski, this might hurt a lot because apparently he was J.J. McCarthy's, like, right-hand man, like his personal coach, give or take, whatever that phrase means, while McCarthy was rehabbing and then learning the offense and being a rookie in the NFL. So that could be an interesting loss. Any thoughts on those guys so far?
I think Udinski might be less of a loss than realized. Sure, he might have spent a lot of time with J.J. McCarthy. And yes, it's important to have some of those key people around your guys. But like it's the NFL. Like, that there's all of this movement all the time. Mm-hmm. There's nothing ever stays the same year to year. I'm looking at this right now. I just sorted the Vikings roster by experience. Harrison Smith has 14 years of experience. Which,
juggernaut. That
is unheard of. Mm-hmm. Like, no one does that anymore. It's just like, it's such a diamond in the rough. Like, that
all
is
with the Vikings too.
Yes, all with the Vikings. 14 seasons with the Vikings. Harrison Smith should be a Hall of Famer, should go in the Vikings Ring of Honor, hopefully. Hopefully all of those things come to him down the road. Mm-hmm. But like, Grant Udinski, sure, was he helpful to J.J. McCarthy as he redshirted his rookie year?
Maybe.
Probably, yeah. But am I confident that Josh McCown and Kevin O'Connell and the other guys around him can lead him to just as much success? Yeah, I think he'll be fine. Yeah. And I think now that he's got a year under his belt, he's sat there on the sideline with the earpiece in, watching Sam Darnold run the offense. I don't think he's... I don't know. I'm riding high on the wave of J.J. McCarthy right now. I think a lot of Vikings fans are. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see he'll probably make a very limited appearance in the preseason. Maybe not even at all.
Should. I think players should play a little bit.
He'll probably play like a drive or two, mm-hmm. I would expect. But I'm excited to see him get out there.
Yeah.
Week 1, see what happens. And he's the guy. I mean, he's the future.
Mm-hmm. I'm right there with you. The last player on this list that in the article that Dustin Baker wrote of people that we might feel their loss this season is Sam Darnold. And even in the article, Dustin's like, all right, like, I had to put him in here. I know everybody's annoyed that we're in here. Most Vikings fans don't really care that Sam Darnold's gone because we have JJ, and for everything, Evan, you just said a minute ago, that's kind of our thoughts. Most people's thoughts. I'm sure there's some people that are pissed that Sam Darnold didn't get re-signed, and they hate JJ, and they're still rooting for the team to sign Case Keenum, and there's probably those people out there. But in this article, he does kind of Dustin points out that Sam Darnold, not that we didn't already know this, had a great season last year. He was a Pro Bowl quarterback. The reason we're not upset about him leaving is, week 18 and then the playoff game and then a healthy J.J. McCarthy right behind him. But Darnold threw for 36 touchdowns last year and had 4,319 passing yards. He did the Baker Mayfield recovery season that we all thought might happen. He was a success. It was awesome. We should all be Sam Darnold fans for the rest of his career because he only gave us great memories other than his final 2 games. And frankly, that's a better season than any Chicago Bears quarterback has ever had. Other than the Bears have had a Super Bowl win and a few appearances in the Super Bowl. But other than that, individual performance, no Bear has ever done what Sam Darnold did last year. I
think you could argue a deteriorating offensive line at the end of the season heavily contributed. I'm not saying that lets Sam off the hook. No. I think he crumbled. I think he kind of he melted in the spotlight, so to speak, and didn't live up to those expectations. He's great on Sunday at noon, but it was tough for him to kind of a la Kirk Cousins a little bit, like just struggled in those primetime big spotlight moments. And nothing against Sam Darnold. Like you just said, I think we should all root for him wherever he goes. Good guy, stand-up guy, played really well, and did a lot of really good things. My question for you is, and maybe we've already talked about this, I don't know, but like, how much of his success do you attribute to him versus Kevin O'Connell?
I mean, I think it's a group effort. I wouldn't overstate, Kevin O'Connell, quarterback whisperer, he could turn me into a Pro Bowl quarterback. That's insane. But, like, he definitely had a part of the equation. I think you can't undersell Grant Udinski's role in that, however big or small it was. You can't undersell Josh McCown's role, Wes Phillips' role, J.J. McCarthy's role. Like, there's a village, just like any job ever. Every person kind of supports everyone. If you have success, it's not just an individual. It's like a sign that lots of people are working well. And there's a reason Sam Darnold was the 3rd overall pick when he was drafted. There's the tools there. And if you really dissected his career, after he left the Jets, it was a series of like playing well and then injury. And then because of injury, opportunities go away, and then he just never got in there, but that makes him look bad. And then he signs to be a backup in San Fran, and it looks bad to be a backup, but then recovery. So he's never been awful outside of being with the Jets. And look at Aaron Rodgers last year. Like, anybody's awful with the Jets. Yeah, so I think it's a group effort, and you can't undersell Sam Darnold's role, KOC's role. But because of all that, I think if KOC can be a part of making a good athlete into a good quarterback. Sam Darnold was a good quarterback in college. So was J.J. McCarthy. And I think if the tools are there, and if J.J. McCarthy is as coachable as Sam Darnold, I'm assuming, was in Minnesota, and if Josh McCown does as good a job with J.J. McCarthy as it seems like he did with Sam Darnold last year, there's no reason to think any less of the Vikings this year than we did last year.
Who on that list? Shaq Griffin, Sam Darnold, Cam Bynum, Grant Udinski. If you could just, make a wish and make it magically appear, who would you have back?
Well, so I wonder what KOC's answer to that would be.
That would be a good
Because maybe he would say, like, yeah, it's devastating to lose Udinski. I'm going to be honest with you. I might not have ever heard Grant Udinski's name before the story came out that it's like, he's interviewing with the Jaguars. Like, so it's hard to put too much on that. For me, it'd probably be Cam Bynum, just because we don't know what Theo Jackson is as a safety, as a starter. And yes, Cam Bynum wasn't a perennial all-pro, but he was a pretty decent starter, and it's hard to lose a decent starter. Sam Darnold's probably the ESPN answer to that, but I think we're both of the mindset that J.J. McCarthy, if he's healthy, we're ready to roll with him. So for that, all of that, I'll say Cam Bynum.
I'm gonna go. I think I might go with Shaq Griffin. Honestly, I think he was Dustin's first, and I think Dustin listed it in order of like least to best, so to speak.
Well, least devastating, probably.
Least devastating to most devastating, and Shaq was his first. But I don't know. The Vikings secondary just seems to be that one spot that they didn't really focus on a ton in free agency or the draft.
As far as big splashy moves.
Big splashy moves, yes. And Shaq seemed to be a pretty steady presence. And I don't know what the price tag was, and I don't know I don't have the GM take on like why they got rid of him, and I know he was only on a 1-year contract anyways, but I don't know. I think Cam Bynum, great guy, seemed to bring a lot of energy and seemed to gel really well with like Josh Metellus and Harrison Smith and those guys in the secondary. But I don't know, Shaq Griffin as a corner, I think he had a lot of good plays and seemed to be a pretty valuable guy on the cornerback roster there. So I would argue him. I'm moved on from Sam Darnold completely.
Yeah, me
like
too.
I'm not like upset about that. I see you're looking up Stephon Gilmore. Gilmore was a lot older than Shaq Griffin, wasn't he?
Yeah, so Gilmore, he's definitely in the tail end of his career. I was looking him up because I don't think he signed anywhere. Same with Shaq Griffin. I think they're both free agents.
Potentially available to be re-signed.
And I think we've both said this offseason a few times that the Vikings didn't really do much for the cornerback room. I think we kind of forget pretty quickly that they paid pretty hefty for a good price for Byron Murphy Jr. And that's probably not something that we're sitting here like, oh yeah, they made a splashy move because they re-signed him. We're used to him being on the team. But, I mean, they did make an internal splashy move by keeping him. And I think if they would have lost out on signing Murphy Jr., maybe both Shaq Griffin and Stephon Gilmore have been re-signed by the team at this point, because Murphy is a pretty big hole that would be there if he wasn't, signed. So it is easy to say like, oh, they re-signed him. But another team, if another team had signed Byron Murphy Jr., they would be saying like, oh yeah, that was a splashy move of the offseason. Like, that was a good pickup, a Pro Bowl cornerback. So let's all of us Vikings fans, let's not forget that the Vikings did make some investments there, and pretty heavy looks in undrafted free agency. And don't forget about Mekhi Blackman and some of those unknown questionable guys that have some upside. Isaiah Rodgers. Apparently Brian Flores was super pumped about Isaiah Rodgers.
Speaking of him, did you see the picture, I think it was on Twitter and Instagram, of him with an matte black helmet, custom matte? Like, I think for a second there, people were like, ooh, did he just drop a new... And I don't think there was a new uniform drop that was involved in that. I think it was just a custom thing, and he was excited to be a Viking and had somebody make it for him. But it looked cool. Like,
it looks sick. Like,
the picture that I saw was like, yeah, I could get on board with that real fast. That was a sharp look. Matte black helmet with a nice purple horn logo on the side.
I butchered his name, but it pulled up. I could probably pull it up. Yeah, look at this. It's matte black, the Viking horn, and then it's like a chrome or white face mask on it.
And then he's got the visor that's like kind of a purpley.
Yeah. It looks super cool. I think on that tweet, somebody replied and was like, is this a custom, or is it like a new release? And somebody replied, an Eagles fan replied and said like, he likes to do this. Apparently when he was on the Eagles, he had like a custom white Eagles helmet made, which that'd be pretty sick too.
That would be cool too.
So it is cool. And I mean, obviously he's not going to be able to.
I don't like to call Eagles things cool, but that would be cool.
The team, their jerseys are cool. The players are all right. Eagles fans are right up there with Lions fans as the worst people on the face of the planet. Skol. Man, it would be cool to see an all-black Vikings uniform, though.
I definitely agree. I really like the whiteouts that they've done the last 2 years.
Dude,
2 years ago, whiteout was great. This last season was even better. I'm excited to see what they do to tweak it and make it even better this year.
It's a tangent. I think the Winter Warrior ones, those are going to be untouched. We'll get those again this year. But I think I've seen somewhere that the NFL, like in 2026 and 2027, every team's going to start doing, the NBA has done like the city uniforms or whatever. I think from what I've heard, the NFL is going to start doing something similar, like a out there, like city uniform for, kind of like a color rush type deal that they used to do. But obviously, I don't think any of them have been released. I think maybe the Commanders announced that they're gonna, they officially announced that they'll be releasing theirs sometime soon, or some team did recently. But we haven't seen any 32 official, city or whatever they're going to be called. So the Vikings will be getting one here in the next 2 seasons sometime. But until then, I like the Winter Warrior ones a lot.
I would assume they would do that on a home game.
Probably, yeah.
And the away team would just wear their normal away.
Or it could be one of those like the Color Rush jerseys. Like each team wore their Color Rush. I don't know for sure. Although I have no notes for the Winter Warrior ones. Those are darn near perfect for me, and they could keep those in the rotation forever.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm also just a big fan of their primaries. I think that's darn near a perfect jersey.
And let's not forget the throwbacks that they pulled out the last couple of years.
What do you think? Should they make their throwbacks their primaries or keep their primaries?
That's a tough one, because I'm definitely a sucker for classic, old, bring back the old. If I had to make a choice right now, gun to my head, I'd probably say go back to the old ones.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
The current throwbacks, make those the primaries?
Yeah.
Man, you get your opinion. I like the primaries. They're darn near perfect. I'd like them to keep the uniform sets the way they have them. Primaries, and then keep the throwbacks, and then sprinkle in the Winter Warriors for a game or two a season. And I think the NFL loosened up their rules on how often a team can wear their alternates and stuff like that. It's something like they can wear them up to like 5 times now, which is kind of crazy.
I think as long as the viewers and the fans at the stadium can delineate between home and away, it shouldn't really matter. And it's confusing too, because like you watch basketball and typically the home team in basketball wears white, and the away team wears the darker jersey. And in football it's the opposite, unless you're the Cowboys or
which they're annoying. I like it when teams make the Cowboys wear their dark jerseys when they're the away team.
Well, there's a few other teams that have started to do it too, haven't there? Like, didn't the Colts start to wear their white jerseys at home?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I feel like there's a couple other teams. I could be wrong, but I think it's more than just the Cowboys now that are wearing white at home. But I've always felt like that's just dumb. Like, why should they be the exception and
I don't get
rule?
Because I think the home team, the rule is you can wear whichever color you want, and the away team has to wear their other version.
The opposite.
So it's not that the home team has to wear their like colored jerseys. It's that the home team gets the option, and the away team has to flip it up. So that's why I think the Cowboys get away with wearing their ugly white uniforms every week, and I don't get it. I don't like the Cowboys uniforms. I don't think they're good looking.
They're not
Who cares,
special.
honestly? But like, why would you die on that hill?
Obviously don't back it up with much play on the field either. So.
Well, I mean, the Vikings also have 0 Super Bowl wins, so there's only so much crap we can talk. But you're right. We can hate on the Cowboys all we want. It's our show, like you said earlier.
It is our show. And we also can have an opinion on this beer. What'd you think?
Dude, this beer, incredible. I like this beer so much. Again, it's the Bromance West Coast IPA from Field Day Brewing in North Liberty, Iowa.
Yep.
6.9%. Pretty solid. I mean, you're not going to throw back 20 of these in a day. Don't ever throw back 20 beers in a day, by the way. But even like, a full day, like lake day, where you can throw a bunch back, you're going to sprinkle one of these in every few. Like, don't have this be your beer of choice all day, because it's pretty heavy hitting. It's delicious. I like it a lot. Again, no notes. What do you think, Ev?
I like it. Yeah. It's definitely your style of beer for sure, but I'm not a beer discriminator. I'm not a beer hater.
Yeah.
I like all beers. I'll take anything, and this is good. The aroma hit me right away. Before we even tasted it, we poured it, and we were talking for a second, and I could just smell it wafting to my nose, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's going to be a good hoppy beer.
Yeah, there's almost like a tanginess to it. Not like grapefruit, but like...
It's very mild, but it's there. Yep, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a good hop flavor. Maybe it's that booziness that we're saying.
Hoppy, tangy, and there's that booziness to it for sure. And at 6.9%, you would kind of expect that. Like, you're verging on 7%. Yeah, you're going to taste some alcohol in it. So
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely good for a shorter session, we'll say.
For sure. Well, listeners, if you want to hear us more and see us more, please check out all our socials. We are everywhere. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Blue Sky. We're pretty much everywhere. We have a website that will be updated, I promise. I've been saying that for 6 months now, but it will be updated. And we do have merch. Evan is sporting probably our like primary jersey of merch, if you want to call it that. He's got the purple with the big Skol Hop logo on it. Looks pretty solid. I like it a lot. So check that out. That's all on our website, theskolhop.com. If you want to reach out to us, we are all the socials, as well as, what's our email address, Ev?
theskolhop@gmail.com.
Yep. Yeah, reach out to us. We will get back to you. Let us know, what would you do to guarantee a Vikings Super Bowl win? Leave that in the comments. That'd be pretty cool to read. We'll read that off next time if we get some good responses.
Quick side note, really quick, before we wrap up.
Yeah.
I really considered wearing my Sammy D shirt until the NFL reinstated us on our TeePublic site. If you didn't know, we had some t-shirt designs that were pulled down from our merch site, which is where you can buy the Skol Hop shirt like this. But my wife made a pretty awesome Sammy D t-shirt a la Sunny D, the orange juice drink kind of thing. Which I thought was hilarious. Yeah. And I bought one right away.
So did I.
It was awesome.
The NFL did not like that.
The NFL did not like it.
Because we did use the like Viking word mark on the jersey, the horn on the helmet. I get it. I'm sorry, NFL. You were right to take us down there, but it was a good design.
There were some other designs that got taken down though that were Vikings related that I'm like, well, that was a little questionable.
Little much.
But anyways, maybe I'll wear it again next week just to protest. Like, maybe not. Anyways,
maybe that just means we need to put up a few more designs.
Yeah, we'll put our graphic designer on that.
Yeah, we'll sign her up and get some sweet logos going. So yeah, check us out everywhere we are. That's about all I got there.
This is a pretty good beer.
Yeah, great beer. Maybe best episode yet. Skol.
Skol.